If you know anyone who observes Ramadan, you might have noticed how the fast travels through the year. Every 12 months, the start date moves backward by about 11 days. Over a 33-year cycle, a person will fast during the shortest, coldest days of winter and eventually the longest, most scorching days of summer. This happens because the current Hijri calendar is strictly lunar. At roughly 354 days, it is shorter than the solar year, meaning the months are entirely decoupled from the Earth's orbit around the Sun. This creates an immediate tension with the foundational text of the faith. The Quran explicitly names both the sun and the moon as the specific tools intended for the reckoning and the counting of years. Historical records also describe the Hajj pilgrimage occurring during, quote, well-known months. In the context of ancient Arabia, a gathering of this scale required predictable weather. Desert travel was only survivable during specific, reliable seasons when the heat broke or the rains arrived. If the original instructions specify that both the sun and the moon define the count, the modern calendar's total disconnect from the solar seasons suggests a significant divergence between ancient text and current practice. To understand how we arrived here, we have to look at the timekeeping used by the pre-Islamic Arab tribes. They observed a lunisolar system, an attempt to track the moon's phases while keeping the years anchored to the sun. But the system was easily manipulated. Tribes began adding an extra 13th leap month, a practice known as Nasi. This allowed them to arbitrarily shift the sacred months to better suit their schedules for trade or seasonal warfare. The Quran addressed this corruption by establishing two new, uncompromising rules. First, the number of months was fixed. The text decrees that a year consists of exactly 12 months. Second, the practice of Nasi was abolished, adding that 13th month was strictly forbidden, stripping local leaders of their ability to tamper with the calendar sequence. These two constraints create a specific mathematical friction. We need a system that never exceeds 12 months, yet still utilizes the sun to keep the year anchored to the seasons. The text addresses this friction by providing specific ratios to reconcile the solar and lunar cycles. One primary example is found in the account of the sleepers in the cave, who remained for 300 years and exceeded by 9. Astronomically, 300 solar years are almost exactly equal to 309 lunar years. The text is providing the precise math required to bridge the two systems. This same logic appears in the description of Noah's age, which uses two different terms for year. He remained for 1,000 sana, a term tied to lunar counts, minus 50 a term used for the solar cycle. By using different terminology to reach the number 950, the text accounts for the drift between the two planetary speeds. This specific mathematical alignment is the hallmark of the Enochic calendar tradition found in the region at the time, a 364-day system composed of exactly 52 weeks and 12 months. A 364-day year satisfies every divine requirement. It keeps the months locked at 12, avoids the forbidden 13th month, and stays fixed to the solar seasons. This suggests that the Prophet Muhammad likely observed a perfectly seasonal calendar his entire life. His final act wasn't to introduce a drifting year, but to restore this 12-month astronomical order, stripping away the corrupt additions of the tribes to return to a cycle that remained fixed to the seasons. The transition to the purely lunar calendar we use today was an administrative decision made roughly 6 years after the Prophet passed away, during the reign of Caliph Umar. Lar was governing an empire that was expanding at a staggering rate. A 364-day solar calendar, which required complex astronomical tracking of the solstices, was too difficult to calculate across a massive and mostly illiterate population. A strictly lunar calendar was simpler. Anyone could track the months by the night sky. It provided a distinct identity, separating the new empire from Roman solar calendars. This literal interpretation of the ban on Nasi locked the months to the moon alone. While the universe provides signs through both the sun and the moon, the floating calendar is the result of a specific moment in human history, a choice to trade astronomical precision for administrative ease.